What's up, everyone? This is your man JD Olson right here at the Martial Arts Limited Association, and I am coming at you from my gym, of course, Keishidojo Martial Arts Unleashed, right here in Sumter, South Carolina. And so I have a different video for you guys today. We had one of our students do a point kickboxing competition, and what I'm going to do is kind of break it down from my perspective and kind of what's in my head and what I'm trying to get the student to do, and also so you guys can see the reaction or what ends up happening. Disclaimer, this was that first person's first competition, so they had never done one before. So this was a really awesome experience, I think, for the student as well, for me, because I haven't coached a whole lot of kickboxing or even karate tournaments in a long time. It's been mostly jiu-jitsu tournaments, so it's kind of a whole change of wheels and a change of gears. So I'm going to show a little bit of the video, and I'm also going to kind of walk myself through it and say, okay, hey, here's what I was trying to get the student to do, here's what they did. But no matter what, when you guys compete, remember, the ultimate goal, I think Icy might put it best in one of his new videos, is you kind of go in with a game plan. You have an idea of what you want to accomplish. Don't just worry about winning and losing all the time. Maybe go in saying, hey, we're going to practice our defenses, or we're going to work on our offensive attacks, or we're going to work on our combinations, or something to that effect. Of course, a lot of this should be worked out in your gym, but then maybe when you go to a competition, especially if it's just like a smaller event, that's something you can kind of put those things to the test and really kind of pressure test those things with somebody not from your gym or maybe not from your school. We have the fight start right here. So of course they're coming out to bow in. They're going to bow to each other. They're going to bow to the referee, and then they switch gloves. And right out the gate, as you can see, her opponent's much taller than her. So when we found that out, the plan for us was, hey, can we get in on her attacks, being that she is so tall and so long? And the girl that she's fighting had also had 5 events. I don't know if they were all kickboxing events. I just know she had 5 combat sport events. She'd done a couple kickboxing for sure, maybe even MMA or 2. Right out the gate, you see she's trying to find her range. It's a little bit tough because she's trying to get inside that. Her hands are up though, that was good. And now she's trying to throw that kick. Something to keep in mind when you're doing kickboxing is you want to throw those kicks, throw them early, throw them often. So one of the things that Coach Mike was telling me after this was, he's like, hey, make sure you have your guys or you have your people kick on the exit of every exchange. So she does her combination, throw that kick to get out of there. Don't worry about, like, will it score or not. Just throw it to keep them off of you for an extra second or so. The girl uses her teep a little bit, throwing some hands. Again, you see our girl's trying to get in close. Our girl's in the red, of course, if I didn't already say that. She just did a little exchange. And that was her first little taste of, hey, this is working. And so I was telling her at that point, like, hey, do that again. And what's funny is she was like, I don't know what I did. And so it was kind of funny just because I was like, do that again, do it again. She was like, I don't know what I did. Which is great, because this is what this was all about. It's like, hey, you can spar in class, you can spar with me, but now that you got some outsider coming in, it's like, oh, I got to deal with all these different emotions and feelings, plus the whole adrenaline spike and all that fun stuff too. So there's a whole lot of things going on at that same section. From the bow, the rounds are 2 minutes long, and she's starting to try to figure out how to get in, and she's having a little bit of a hard time, so she's kind of backing off a little bit from my perspective. And so got to get her to throw that double jab, that triple jab, something to chew her way back in. At least she has another good exchange here in a second. Oops, she got her head knocked back. Hands up, hands up. Good side kick. A little bit of back fist after it. So I tell all my people when they're doing everything to attack for the beginners a minimum of 3. So white belts, something with 3. Jab, cross, hook, or jab, cross, round kick, something. Kick, punch, punch. And if you look right now, we're at 1:13. A lot of stuff is turning into onesies and twosies. So keep that in mind when you're training or you're coaching yourself. Is make sure, hey, I got to have a combination, a minimum of 3. Her hands are up. That's good. She was able to just kind of weather that little bit of a storm. All right, that was the first round. So when she came over, I was like, hey, you had a great exchange. We gave her some water, kind of tried to coach her a little bit. And so I was like, hey, you had a great exchange. You got in, you did some damage, you got out. And I was, like I said, I was saying to do that again. And she was like, I don't know what I did. I can't do it again if I don't know what I did. I didn't want to overwhelm her with counts because I already knew she was nervous. And so I wanted to keep it super simple. All right, so that was round 1. Moving to round 2. Hands up, hands up. She threw the kick at the end. She's staying in the pocket. She got her head rocked a little bit there. She got to get her hands back up. She's starting to drop her hands in between the exchanges, which I think is where the other girl's catching her a little bit now. Good front kick. So if we're looking at the combinations again, let's look at it again. I am at 30 seconds into the second round. One, two, there's a 3. There's a little bit of exchange, is good. 1, 2. Kind of lost it behind the ref, sorry. 1, 1, 1. See what I mean? It's kind of ones. It's not hard to defend against a ones. One of my instructors taught me years ago, they said the average person can block 2 moves. So the third one is usually going to score. Those punches got through her guard. That was good. Got rocked a little bit more. Got rocked, her hands are down. So something looking at it as I'm watching it again, for her, she's used to being the taller person in our class, so she's usually fighting a little bit shorter people. Having to fight somebody taller, she definitely needed to kind of have her hands more up. Maybe not, blocking her face, but definitely more up where she could just kind of close in and go doo-doo, and then doo-doo. She was more used to fighting here, and I think those punches are making over the top. And she wasn't ready for something like that, just because, again, we don't have a lot of people that are that tall for her to practice here, especially female. Getting tired now too. That adrenaline's starting to wear off. It's getting a little bit slower paced. Hands up, hands up. Good spinning back fist attempt. That was good. When I do the spinning back fist, I always tie it in with something, make it so it's not as disguisable. If you look at it from a different angle, she does that pretty good. She's kind of in the middle of the exchange, she spins and goes for it. I can tell you firsthand, if she hits you with that spinning back fist, it will hurt, if not knock somebody out. She hit me in the shoulder one time, and it knocked me forward. It's a pretty good hit. So there's the breakdown of that. I love the fact that even afterwards, they, of course, they bow, give respects, and they give each other a hug. That was awesome. For my girl, I think it was super important for her to do this because she likes to fight and she likes to spar in class, but she's never had a chance to do a competition. And again, she's very win or lose oriented, and this wasn't really about that, at least for me. I think it was still for her a little bit. I think that's why she was a little bit down on herself, but she did an awesome job. She was able to kind of get in there and mix it up a little bit, get out sometimes. Fighting with somebody taller, bigger than you is probably going to be the case, and especially in the real world, the person who's going to attack us is probably going to be bigger, faster, and stronger. So that was an awesome experience for her in that light, as well as it was a good experience for me to improve upon coaching for her, so I can say, okay, hey, here's what we need to work on for next time. If we're going to do this again, we can practice our defenses differently. We can kind of tempo the round a little bit differently. And again, Icy Mike put out a great video on something just like this. It worked out really well because I think he put it out on like Tuesday, and this fight was on a Saturday. So I had watched that video like 2 or 3 times, and I will put a link in it right up here, whichever side it goes to, and you guys can check it out. I definitely would recommend that for anybody who's coaching, because again, it's not really about winning and losing, it's about learning. We're trying to learn more things. There was no belt at stake, there was no nothing crazy, so it was like, hey, how do I improve my skill set in order to make this work? And then upon leaving the contest, I was super proud of her, the fact that she got in there and did that. I think a lot of coaches or a lot of people know it takes a lot just to get in the ring and compete. It's easy to sit in class or it's easy to be the Professor Danaher says, the Matt Monster, and not step out into the limelight and be on stage like that and have to do those things. So that's already a win in my book. Anybody who's going to get out there and compete, you guys are winners. And then to win at the competition is even better. But understand, we learn through failure. So when we make mistakes, when we mess up, is when we're like, all right, I got to fix this thing. If you don't mess up, you're never going to fix stuff. You're never going to grow. So every time we have failures, every time we have hiccups in the road, we learn to push that bubble, and we go farther, faster, and better. So don't look at it as winning and losing. Say, hey, what did I take away from this experience? How can I learn from it? How can I grow from it? But if you can sit back, say, what did I take from this? And you learn from it, then ultimately you're gonna win from the experience. So keep that in mind. And if you like this kind of video, the breakdown, let me know. So I'll put in the comments so I know if I should do more of these. Because somebody asked me to do a breakdown of some of my grappling, or even maybe a grappling competition, what I was thinking. And then last but not least, hit that bell icon, a ding ding, so you know when the next video is coming out. From all of us here at the Martial Art Association, you guys stay safe, keep training. This is Coach JD, and I'm out.